Hey guys, it's Jess, and I'm excited to be hopping along with a couple of talented creators, all sharing our favorite fall color combinations. I hope that you can get some inspiration from this hop and hopefully be inspired to create some fall projects of your own. So I did some browsing on Pinterest and found a gorgeous color combination because I couldn't pick just one, and I knew that my absolute favorite color combination wasn't going to be just a standard or traditional fall color palette with mostly just browns, neutrals, and orange yellow type colors. I wanted to add something a little bit interesting and exciting into my blend, and I decided that I was going to go with a fall sunset sort of vibe. I found the most gorgeous color palette on Pinterest, and I had to make my card surrounding that theme because it was just so pretty. So I decided to do that. I've used a couple of Distress Oxide colors here. So Antique Linen, Chipped Sapphire, Seedless Preserves, Rusty Hinge, and Fossilized Amber. And I really, really love the way that this turned out. I don't think that even when I picked the colors out that I thought it was going to turn out as pretty, in my opinion, as it did. It just sort of came together, and I am obsessed with the way that it turned out. It just looked so natural, like a real sunset during the fall, and I don't know, I'm really, really happy with it. So I decided that because this is a fall card, I wanted to kind of make it, I wanted to leave it simple so the focus was on the background, but I wanted to make it fall-esque. So I chose this stamp set from Hero Arts called Wish I Might, and it's got this kind of spindly branch that hangs out, and you can actually put a swing on it or leave it as is, and there's another stamp set that pairs really well with it called Wish I May. I didn't end up using that one in this video, but they pair super perfectly together, so I usually do use them together. So for this one, I'm using my MISTI, and I'm moving the branch off to the side so that I can stamp it on there. And then this is the swing stamp. So I'm just using the scrapbook.com black hybrid ink to stamp out my silhouetted images. I really like that about this stamp set, that it has the silhouette vibe. I don't know why, but it just is really cool to me. And especially on a really striking background like this, I think it works so well. It keeps the focus still on the background, but it packs, in my opinion, I don't know, a big impact. I don't know, it just seems more poignant. Is that how you say that word? Anyway, so I'm just using my mini MISTI, or my original MISTI, like I was saying, to stamp out all of these images. And then I did go ahead and also heat emboss a sentiment. Now the sentiment that I chose is actually from the brand new Pink and Main subscriptions box called Crafty Courtyard. And their theme this month is sweater weather. I have an unboxing that I can link to if you're interested in checking out where the stamp set comes from, but I thought that the sentiment was perfect, and I added a little leaf falling in with the sentiment as well, and I thought that really tied it all together so that it was like the last leaves falling off of this tree, the little girl looking out into the sunset, enjoying the last warmish days of the fall before winter comes. I don't know, it was just kind of a magical scene to me. So I did think that my scene needed a little bit more. I wasn't really happy with just the one branch up top, so I moved the branch and I kind of angled it downward so it looked a little bit different, and I stamped it again up at the top, and then I moved it again and positioned it in between, and it's fine if it overlaps because it's a silhouette, so it doesn't really matter, and it lined up really nicely, and I like the way that it turned out, but it just gave the tree a little more fullness, especially since there is no trunk of the tree showing. I really just felt like it needed a little more oomph up top. So just so you guys know, if you're hopping along with us today, there is a link to the next stop on the hop in the description down below so that you can check out the next video and keep hopping and seeing all of the fall color inspiration. I know there's some gorgeous projects that you guys are going to want to check out, and you might even find someone new to follow, so it's always awesome to hop along if you can. Everything that I've used in the video today is linked down below, but you can always drop me a comment if you have any questions about anything or just want to chat. I answer all of my comments, so I definitely enjoy chatting with you guys. So here I've just been using some Letterit embossing ink to do my heat embossing, or my stamping of the sentiment at least. I used the anti-static powder tool from Ranger, and now I have poured on my white embossing powder, also from Ranger. I'm using a coffee filter to catch the stray embossing powder, and then I actually have this paintbrush that I'm using. It's never been used for anything other than this, so it's clean, all things considered, and I'm just using it to brush away the excess embossing powder, because I didn't leave any time really in between when I inked this background and when I stamped those images, and then when I went to go ahead and do my heat embossed sentiment. There is still some wet ink on my background panel, and therefore the embossing powder has sort of stuck to those areas, even though that's not really where I wanted it to go. So I like to use the paintbrush to get into those small or harder to reach areas that I wouldn't be able to get off like by myself or with my finger, and that don't come off automatically when you flick the back of it. So a good trick, if you are having trouble getting the majority of the background to have the stray embossing powder come off, you can just turn the panel over and gently flick the back of the cardstock, and most of that powder should come off if your background was fairly dry to begin with, and then you can kind of go in for the fine detailing with the paintbrush after the fact. Or you can have stray embossing powder on your background, and if that doesn't bother you, then that's totally fine. I don't think it really matters in the grand scheme of things, but I tend to be a perfectionist, so I always want to try to get as much of the powder off as I can. So then I used my heat tool and I went ahead and melted that embossing powder. Really like how the white really pops against that background. So now I'm using the grass stamp that came with that Wish I Might stamp set, and I'm using it to create a ground level for my card. I felt like it looked a little weird when she's just kind of floating off in space and there's nothing down below her. And again, I like that this is a silhouette because I can just layer it all up and it doesn't matter. Once you get all of the stamped images there, it just looks like one solid bit of grass down at the bottom. I really, really like how that looks. So here is a look at the finished card. I hope you guys love it. Don't forget to hop along. The next stop is linked down below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and be sure to hit that bell notification icon so that you don't miss another video. I will see you guys again really soon. Talk to you later. Bye.